Hey there, in this video, I'm going to be going over some need to knows regarding serving in our preschool 2 classroom here at Anchor Point Church. Now, preschool 2 is going to consist of ages 3 and 4-year olds. 3 and 4-year olds are so fun. They're in the mindset of they want to learn, but some of them don't know how to sit still, and then some of them are really rowdy still. It's a really, really fun age. Some of them just love to learn and color and sing. And so it is such a unique classroom to be a part of. In this classroom, we're slowly transitioning our kids into more of a service format. There is more of a structured schedule for this classroom. But hear me when I say this. If the room is not having it, don't force it. If kids are not interested at all in sitting and listening or watching a video, don't force it. It is okay. The way that we do lessons in preschool too is mostly video driven. So I'm going to briefly go over a shell of a schedule for preschool 2. But before I do that, one of the most important roles that you're going to play is greeting all of the kids that walk in the door with a smiling face, it's so good to see you. I hope you had a good week. Are you having a good day? Just acknowledging that these kids are coming into your classroom and letting them know how happy you are to see them. Some kids will not even acknowledge you, but then some kids thrive on knowing that they're welcomed in that room. And so just greeting them, acknowledging every single child that walks in, also making sure every single child that walks into your classroom has a name tag. If they do not have a name tag, we need to get them a name tag. In that case, we're going to walk you up to the guest services desk and we're going to say, we're missing a name tag. And then we're going to handle it from there. And so making sure kids have a name tag on, making sure that they are welcomed into the classroom and just kind of show them what's happening in the room. A lot of time in preschool 2 is going to be free play. There are baskets of trucks and cars and babies and play food and all of this stuff for them to play with. And so for the majority of the time that they're in preschool 2, they're going to be having free play. Now, about 30 minutes in, there's a countdown on the computer that you can start. It's a 5-minute countdown. During that 5 minutes, we're going to have the whole room cleaning up. And it can be a fun game. I don't want you to clean up all the toys. You didn't take them out. So let's include all of the kids in cleaning up. So we're going to clean up, put everything back where it belongs, and then we are going to gather in front of the TV. And we are going to sing a worship song. Now, the worship songs are on the TV, and you press play, and you follow the TV. The kids love it. And so I really encourage you to, if you don't get anything else done, try to encourage this time because the kids love the worship. And so after that, there's going to be a video on your computer that talks about our lesson. It will go over the entire week's lesson. It's going to talk about a big idea and it's going to talk about a Bible verse. And it's very engaging. We've chosen it for a very specific reason. It's super engaging. Most of the time it's puppets, which kids love puppets. I think they're weird, but kids love puppets. And so you play that video, and then after the video, it's time to do the craft or the coloring page. Now, all of this will be provided to you. You shouldn't have to prep much. There may be a few little things that you have to get in order for the kids in the classroom that day. But any coloring pages will already be printed. Any supplies you need will already be provided for the children. There will also be a printed lesson guide for you in the room that will explain any type of craft or any type of activity that we have for you that day. And then after that, there may be an organized game that is provided in the curriculum for that day or the lesson plan for that day. You can do it or you can let them free play. Once the lesson is done, this is so important, have the children put their shoes on. You wouldn't think that it would take long for a child to put their shoes on, but when you have 10 to 15 of them and their shoes are kind of everywhere, it takes a little bit of time to get them all ready to walk out the door. Checkout is a little bit crazy. I've said this in the very beginning, the very first video that you receive from me, it is the moment where all of our parents show up at one time to get their kids. And so we want to be as efficient as possible, but also as safe as possible. So if the room is chaos and we're trying to call kids, it's just not going to be a good thing. It's not going to be a good situation. You're going to be frustrated. The kids are going to be frustrated. The parents going to be frustrated. So during this time, I like to have the kids sit in a circle. It's a very distinct direction. They need to sit in a circle. You can have them passing a ball. You can have them rolling a ball, something that is like a controlled environment during that time. And let the kids know, hey, parents are coming. When you hear your name called, please come to the door. And at that point, you'll let the child leave the room with one of our team members, and then they will go with their parent. After first service dismisses, we ask that you would reset the room and clean any hard surfaces with the sanitizing products that we've provided with you. We don't want to transfer any germs that we don't have to from service to service. And so wiping down hard surfaces and just resetting the room for the next service speaks volumes. It says, hey, we're prepared for this next set of children that are coming for the 11 a.m. service, and we are ready. And so taking 5 minutes to do that once all the kids are dismissed is a good thing. So please do that. And then we encourage all of our team members to take a break. After all of the children have left and you've reset the room, go out of the classroom, take a breather, take a break, go get a snack, go grab some coffee, whatever you want to do, and then be back in the room around 10:40. That's usually when we allow kids to start checking into our 11 a.m. service. So be back in the room, ready to receive them, ready to welcome them, and ready to have a really good second service. Now, before you leave for the day, after 11 a.m. service, we do ask that you pull that the trash bag out of the trash can, tie it, and sit it in the hallway. We do have a crew that comes throughout the entire church and grabs all the trash, but we need to have it out of the rooms if possible. If there's any diapers that were put into the trash can, definitely make sure those get taken out. In preschool too, we don't have many kids that are still in a diaper, but we need to be aware of the ones that are potty training. Usually we know they'll tell you they have to go potty, but it is not a bad practice to say every 5 or 10 minutes, does anyone need to go potty? Or asking the ones that you know are actually potty training. Typically the parent is going to tell us at check-in, hey, we just started potty training. Please ask them if they have to go potty. And then we relay that message to you, the teacher in the classroom. So just being aware of potty. Some kids are potty training, some kids are potty trained, some may just have a pull-up on, and that's fine. We never want to send a child home with an overly soiled diaper or pants. Now, in the instance of having an accident, we do keep extra sets of clothes for children underneath the sink. As a parent, I would want to know if my child had an accident. So my first instinct is to call the parent. Unless you already have a diaper bag with extra clothes, I would call the parent and just say, hey, so-and-so had an accident. Is it okay if we just use some of the stuff that we have? It's all brand new. You can keep it. Don't have to bring it back. That's just a good practice, I think, and it involves the parent. I would be shocked if my kid came home in someone else's clothes. That's a little weird to me. So overly communicating, even if the parent has to come out of service, that's fine. It's not a big deal. They probably already know what it is when they're being called. And so in that case, we'll radio the guest services. You'll give them the sticker. The sticker will be then taken to the auditorium, and then we'll get the parent over to you. So, incident report forms. I want to hit that really quickly for preschool too, because we have a lot of incidents in preschool too. Incidents could range from an injury, a sickness, kids fighting, bumped heads, falling, hitting, like anything like that. We want to report it. We want to document it. So we have incident report forms. You're going to fill it out in its entirety and explain it very well. And then we're going to make a copy of it. And we, the church, is going to keep one copy, and then we're going to send another copy home with the child. Now, if there's like a really bad injury or visual sickness where the kid just doesn't look like they feel good and you could feel their head and it's hot, we're going to get the parent. Like we're going to just go ahead and call the parent out. But if they just bump their head and you're like, oh, that's probably going to be a bruise, but the kid's fine, we're going to do an incident report form. If a kid hits another kid, we're going to address the child, redirect them, and fill out an incident report form. We want to report and keep record of all of these things, so that one day if we ever if we ever have to go to the parent, we want to say, hey, here's like we see how this led up to this. It wasn't just a one-time event. So if you need help in any of those areas, we have team members that are well trained in all of that. And so we are here to help. Um, I do want to say once again, thank you so much for partnering with us in Anchor Point Kids. We could not do this without you.